Hello everyone, and welcome to a video that I'm very excited to be making. So on October 11th, I played, as some of you may know, a 55-game Blitz match with the world champion Magnus Carlsen on chess.com. Magnus has been playing more frequently on chess.com, and I had never played Blitz with him before. We had only played Bullet 1-minute chess on Lead Chess, so this was my first opportunity, my first experience with Magnus Carlsen in Blitz. We played with a time control of 3 minutes per game, no increment, and I performed a lot better than I expected. The final score was 24.5 for me and 30.5 for Magnus, so he won the match by 6 points, but I was able to keep it very close throughout. I was leading after the first 6 games, and I am more than happy to lose to Magnus by only 6 points in 55 games. I gave it everything I had, and it was one of the, really, I wouldn't be exaggerating if I said it was one of the best experiences of my life. I had an absolute blast. We played for 5 hours from about 7 p.m. to midnight, and I wasn't streaming. I did everything possible to focus as intensely as I could, and I thought that my level of play overall was pretty high. So because I wasn't streaming, I decided to make a video where I go through all of the highlights of the match. I'll show you the most memorable moments from my perspective. I'll show you some of the really cool opportunities that both of us missed, and I will show you some of Magnus's most impressive moments in the games where he defeated me. So I hope that this will give you a sense of how the match went, and I hope that this will be more interesting than just a video where I, let's say, just superficially go over all 55 games. That wouldn't be very feasible. Instead, I want to really hit on the most exciting moments of the match, and hopefully you will be able to extract some instructive value from this video as well. You know, these moments are going to vary. Some of them are tactical, others are positional. They vary by difficulty, and you can also use this as a kind of practicum. You can pause before I show you the solution to each moment, and you can try to solve it yourself. So I hope you enjoy this overview. Let's dig in without any further ado. So I'm going to divide this into 3 sections. I will start by showing you my highlights from the games that I won. Then I'll show you a couple of missed opportunities from both of us. And finally, we will focus on a couple of Magnus's most impressive moments. So he ended up winning 25 times. I won 19 times, and we made 11 draws. Of course, not all of my 19 wins were anything to be proud of. A lot of the time, I had to resort to dirty flagging. I had a couple of really lucky swindles, but I did have a couple of games where I really was able to produce high-quality chess, and we are going to start with the games that I was white, and the position in front of you happened pretty early in the match. So I have the white pieces. This is a very typical Caro-Kann, and here Magnus makes a very natural move that turns out to be the decisive mistake. He pushes the pawn to c5. If you play the Caro-Kann, you know that this is perhaps the most common idea, both in the French and in the Caro-Kann, disrupting and trying to undermine White's main central pawn chain. But the issue is that Black is insufficiently developed here, and I was able to pounce on that very accurately. So I noticed that the queen on b6 is actually a lot more awkward than it looks. I took on c5. Magnus recaptured with the knight. And now bishop e3 pins the knight to the queen. Now Magnus saw that, and the knight isn't actually lost. Black has the move knight c6, opening up another defender on the knight. And it doesn't seem like White has any clear ways of reinforcing the pressure on the knight. But this is where I was able to find a really nice idea. I realized that if I could find a way to open the c file, I would be able to bring my rook to c1 and add pressure to the knight. But that's a lot easier said than done, because this pawn on c2 isn't going to go away on its own. But here's what I was able to find. Bishop comes out to b5 for starters, pinning the knight on c6. And after bishop e7, the most important move of the entire sequence, knight e1 to d3. This adds another attacker, but the point is it forces Black to take the knight with the bishop. And after c takes d3, I have achieved my goal of opening the c file. There's nothing that Black can do about this pin. Magnus saw nothing better than to castle, and now rook c1 comes through, and it is decisive. There are 3 attackers on the knight, only 2 defenders, and the only way that Black can save the piece is by pushing the d-pawn up to d4, allowing me to take it. And after the trade, I still have the pin on the knight. I have an extra pawn, and I'm totally dominating on all three sides of the board. Magnus drops the queen back to a7 to prepare to reinforce the knight, but it's too little too late. I dropped the bishop back to e3, and after b6, d4, I was able to win the game in just a few more moves. The queen's coming out to g4, white's up a pawn, and black's position is in shambles. So that was a little sequence that I was pretty proud of, and it was maybe one of the smoothest games that I won. Moving on to the second position. So here, once again, I'm playing white, and I am up, let's see, I'm up, counting never been my forte. White is up 2 pawns, but it's not actually that easy to make progress. My king is relatively unsafe. The bishop is loose. But what I noticed is that my main asset in this position is the battery that I have built, which is staring right at the g7 pawn. The issue is that the queen is doing a great job of defending that pawn. But we can change that. When there's a large distance between a defending piece and the thing that it's defending, that opens up the possibility of interference tactics. And white has a classic interference idea here with the move e5. It may look bad because it opens up black's bishop, but it's so much more important to cut off the queen, slice off the queen, and threaten checkmate on g7. With the queen offside, black just doesn't have the necessary firepower to defend the king against the onslaught. The only way to defend g7 is to play the move f5. Now the rook defends the pawn, but as a result of f5, the g6 square has been fatally weakened. I gave a check on g6, and now a very nice follow-up move, h6, shattering the last remaining defense. If black takes the bishop, then h takes g7, king g8, and queen e8 check is a simple checkmate. After queen h8, Magnus was forced to take on e5 in this position. And now I did something I regret a little bit. I took on g7, and here I decided to trade into a winning bishop endgame up a pawn. I took on g7, and I won the endgame pretty smoothly. But instead, it would have been prettier and more efficient to give a check on h6. King g8 is forced, otherwise queen f8 is checkmate. And now white wins with rook takes g7 and queen takes c6, picking up the bishop. But in the game, I traded everything on g7, and I was able to win by creating a second passed pawn on the queen side, and black's defenses here are overwhelmed. Okay, so on we go to the next highlight. So once again, I have the white pieces in this game. And this, as you can probably guess, came from a Ruy Lopez. We had a lot of Ruy Lopez's with both colors. Magnus was regularly crushing me when he was on the white side of the Ruy Lopez. But when I was on the white side, I also was able to produce a couple of nice games. So in this game, I've managed to accumulate all of my pieces on and assemble them on the king side. I've got my queen, my knight, the 2 rooks, and the bishop all staring at the f7 pawn. But I was struggling to figure out how exactly to transform that into something concrete. But then I discovered a really, really strong resource. Using the pin on the g6 pawn, the first move is knight f5 check. This is very strong because the pawn on d6 anchors black's entire center. So black has to eliminate this knight, but now the pawn takes its place, putting tremendous pressure on the g6 pawn. Magnus responds with g5. As it turns out, this was a mistake. And Magnus was hoping to lock up the king side on the next move with f6, but I didn't let him do that. f6 check myself, locking the knight out of the game, forcing the king onto a vulnerable square. Magnus moves up to g6, and this actually accelerates the defeat. But the reason I'm showing this game is this next move that I made. At first, I was getting nervous. Magnus is a very hard guy to checkmate. I could sense that there was something, but I couldn't find what it was. And I realized that the problem is that the bishop is no longer actively participating in the game. I noticed that the king is on a light square, so if I could get the bishop onto this diagonal that I've highlighted, b1 h7, then I'll be able to push the d-pawn out of the way, and the king will be toast. And once I made that observation, the move was really easy. c3, in order to vacate the c2 square for the bishop, is totally decisive. bc, bc. And now Magnus drops the king to h6. And now I realize that apart from c2, I have an even better square for the bishop all the way back to d1, forcing the queen back to g6. Because if black plays queen h4, then I was planning to trade queens, and play the quiet but totally deadly move rook g1. Just look at black's king. There is no way to stop this maneuver, rook f5, rook h5, resulting in ladder checkmate, or black has to give away all of his pieces. So Magnus had to drop the queen back to g6, and now another strong attacking move, h4, trying to remove really the last defender. If the g5 pawn disappears, then the king is going to be checkmated. Rook h8, and now rook f5, increasing the pressure on the g5 pawn. There are many wins at this point, but I was just happy with the way that I attacked. And now I play the move e4, opening up the e3 square for the queen, which not only results in checkmate, but also forks the rook on a7. Magnus went knight f8. Of course, I can take the rook if I want to, but instead I decided to win the game with rook g5. This traps the queen, because if the queen drops back to h7, there's a very nice checkmate with rook h5, queen takes g4, and queen g5. So this was one of my nicer, one of my only games where I managed to really checkmate Magnus's king without making too many big mistakes. So those were the highlights with the white pieces. There is one more highlight, the most memorable moment of the match for me, that I will get to at the end. But for now, let's move to my highlights with the black pieces. And we will start with this position. So now I am playing black. And we had a lot of King's Indians. We had a lot of structures like this, where Magnus had pawns on e4 and c4. And the reason that this structure usually is very bad for black is because the pawn on d6 is a massive weakness. It's backward, and white correspondingly holds complete dominance over the square in front of the pawn. The d5 square is a nasty outpost for white's knight. So I knew that I had to do something, or Magnus was about to drag his knight to d5, and that would be the end of me. And then I realized that the queen and the rook on d2 are on forkable squares. So the only thing that's preventing knight takes c4 is that pawn on f3. And there comes the sacrifice. Knight takes f3 is the only way to stay in the game. King takes f3. Now we take on e4, forking the queen and the rook. But after queen d3, the moment that I was most proud of, at first I was tempted to just grab the rook automatically. But I realized that after rook takes d2, black is actually borderline lost, because the knight is still coming into d5, and it's going to just lord over the whole position. White's knights are so much stronger here than especially the d8 rook, which is just staring at the d6 pawn and doing nothing. But I realized that the pawn on g3 is another hidden weakness. The queen on c7 is aiming at it, and hopefully this is making you realize that I have the follow-up d5, opening up a massive attack on the g3 pawn. White has to defend it at all costs, and so Magnus played the move knight f4. If white takes on d5 and queen takes g3 is a very elementary checkmate. King e2, queen g2 is just totally devastating. It's unthinkable. So knight f4 happened. Now and only now do I take the rook. And the point is that no matter which way white takes, if white takes with the rook, I play the move d takes c4, getting a third pawn for and the rook for the two knights. And most importantly, white cannot recapture with the queen because the rook on d2 is hanging. Magnus took back with the queen. I played dc4. He covered with the knight. My queen dropped into e5. And at this point, white is already much, much worse. And I went on to win the game. The king is weak. Black has 3 pawns and a rook for the two knights. And b takes e4 runs into queen e4 and queen takes e4. The knight loses its support. And I was able to win by doubling on the d file and ultimately just winning one of Magnus's knights. Okay, on we go to the next position. So most of the time throughout the match, I was getting soundly outplayed in the opening with the black pieces. I can count probably on one hand the amount of times that I was actually equal after 10 or 15 moves with black. So I was doing a lot of swindling. I was doing a lot of, searching for cheap tactics in bad positions. And in this game, I was really able to find something that I was proud of. So clearly black is worse. Why is black worse? Because white has a massive space advantage. He's got these two really monster bishops, especially the dark squared bishop, which is uncontested. And these kingside pawns are going to tear me apart if I don't do something immediately. So I knew that I needed to produce some sort of counterplay against white's king, but it's not easy to do that because everything seems to be defended. What I noticed is that the white queen on d1 is actually, believe it or not, overextended. It's doing two things at once. It's protecting g4 and it's protecting the knight on d2. But wait, you might say, isn't the h3 pawn protecting g4 as well? It is, but that doesn't actually matter. I was able to find the only way to complicate the game. A bolt from the blue, bishop takes g4. Now the queen cannot take because the knight on d2 will be lost and black wins a pawn. So h takes g4 is forced. And now comes the point. Knight takes d2 forces the queen out of the way. And after queen takes g4, I get 2 pawns for the piece. And the white king is all of a sudden wide open. And it's always difficult to adjust when you're dominating, you're positionally better. And all of a sudden you have to defend your king. And Magnus makes a couple of decisive errors here that allow me to win the game in style. First, he plays rook f2, which is wrong because it severs the connection between the two rooks and allows me to take on b4. The only way to keep the advantage, according to the engine, was the quiet move, queen f2. But black has a lot of stuff that he can do. Queen h5 check, the knight could come into h4. So in a blitz game, I would still think that black has pretty decent chances. But Magnus plays rook f2. I took on b4. And after a takes b4, I would have traded on a1, and I would have given perpetual check. Queen h4 check, king g1, queen g3 check, and here we can see the point of trading that rook on a1. After rook g2, we now have not rook e1 check, which looks winning, but actually loses after bishop f1 because the queen is still hanging. But rather we play queen e1 check, forcing the queen trade and simultaneously picking up the bishop on a1. So for all of this to work, it is necessary to get rid of the rook that was on a1, and that is why rook f2 is a mistake. So after ab, Magnus ended up taking my knight on g6. I took back. That doesn't actually change the combination. A takes b4 would still fail to that sequence. In fact, he should have played a takes b4. And after queen h4 check, white can force a draw with king g2. And at this point, there's going to be a perpetual check. But Magnus was still very ambitious, and so he plays rook g2. I drop the queen to h4 and take another pawn on a3. At this point, I have 4 pawns for the piece. And what Magnus probably missed is that he cannot take back with the bishop due to the very pretty rook takes a3 and rook e1 check forces white to give up his queen. And black has a gazillion pawns and the queen for the 2 rooks. So after b takes a3, Magnus had to move the bishop away. And now I continue the attack with rook e4, threatening to pick up 2 more of white's pawns. At this point, white is already lost. His position is in shambles. And I was able to win the game pretty quickly. f5, doubling rooks on e8. Magnus plays f takes g6, one last chance going after the g7 pawn, and now I was really happy with the calm f6, locking the bishop out of the equation, and there are simply too many threats on the queen side, too many pieces in the attack. The game ended after queen h2, queen f2, queen h5. Why queen h5? Because that opens up the pathway for the rook, and now white has no good way to stop all of the checks on the back rank, king f1, queen d1, and Magnus resigned because after bishop e1, I can win in a variety of ways, but the simplest and the prettiest move is a rook f4 deflection sacrifice. White cannot refuse it because otherwise he loses the queen. After queen f4, queen takes e1 is checkmate. So I thought this was a nice example of turning around a game that really went wrong in the opening. Okay, so in the next position, I was able to find a very nice tactic. This was maybe my nicest combination of the entire match. This came at the very tail end of the match. I think this was the 4th to last game or something like that. So I once again have the black pieces here. Magnus attempted a kingside attack that has misfired. So I'm currently up a pawn. The pawn on g5 is completely holding white at bay. It's restricting the knight. But if you give white time, he's going to play h4 and he's going to restart the attack on the king side, especially if you can open the h-file. So I knew that I had a sense of urgency and I need to do something on the other side of the board. Well, what exactly? At first I thought, well, maybe we can sack the knight, but that doesn't really do anything because black doesn't have enough pieces in the attack. But then I was able to discover a really, really pretty tactical sequence that relies on a nice mating pattern. So feel free to pause the video here. I'll take a sip of coffee and I'll let you think about it. Actually, I'll pop the AC on. Just thinking about playing with Magnus is making me sweat. All right. So the move, and once again, the bolt from the blue, is rook takes c3. Now, this is a pretty typical sacrifice in these types of positions, but what on earth is the follow-up after b takes c3? Well, now the knight drops in for a visit on a2. And where a lot of people, would stop calculating is after king b2. It looks like white not only has the extra exchange, but now the knight is trapped on top of it. But the crux of the combination is the move knight takes c3 eliminating a critical defender. After king c3, queen drops into b4 with checkmate. I really, really like this mating pattern. This would actually be checkmate without the knight, the rook, the bishop, and all of the pawns except e4 and a5. You just see how strong of an attacker the queen is. So rewinding to knight a2 check, Magnus went the other way, but that doesn't change anything. I still take on c3. Of course, he did not take my knight, but that still allows my queen to drop into b4, setting up a decisive threat of a discovered check. White's king is caught on the crossfire, and the game ended in pretty mundane fashion. We traded on d7. Magnus went queen a1, setting one last trap, and it was really amazing how, I know this is a cliche, but the level of resilience that he demonstrated in situations where I thought, all right, it's made. It's got to be made in a couple of moves. Magnus made me find every last accurate move, and in many cases, it allowed him to turn the game around. But here, I remained on top rather than making an impulsive move like knight takes a4, which allows white to cover it with c3. I made the patient move rook c8, adding another attacker, and this turns out to be decisive. King e1, Magnus makes a mad dash for the king side, but horrors await him there as well. Knight b1 check. I always like putting my piece on the initial development square of my opponent's piece. Always feels badass. This, of course, sets up queen d2 in the event of king d1. So he went the other way, but after rook takes c2, king g3, queen d6, he resigned because at this point, white has to give up all of his pieces in order to avoid checkmate. Okay, so those were my highlights with the black pieces, and I have saved one last highlight, which I think represents the most memorable moment of the whole match for me, the moment that I'll be telling my grandkids about. And there's a story behind this highlight. So in 2010, I played a tournament in France called the Capelle La Grande Open. It's a very big open tournament. I was 2350 at the time. I was a FIDE master. And one of the things the tournament is known for is that it has what's called accelerated pairings. So normally, as a 2300, you would play down in the first round. I would play like a 1900. But in Capelle La Grande, you know, the 2300s are already playing grandmasters in the first round. And I was paired with very strong French grandmaster, Jean-Marc de Grave, high 2500s, former French champion. And I was super, super jet lagged because I had arrived from the West Coast the day before. I didn't have high expectations for the game. But of course, those are precisely the moments when you tend to perform the best. And so I did. I managed to win the game, and I won it in really memorable fashion. I've shown snippets of this game on stream before. I won't go through the whole game. I'll show you the pertinent moments. So to my surprise, my opponent played the Philidor. I was like, okay, bishop c4, bishop e7, d4. This is all mainline stuff. I'm going to fast forward to the critical moment. So we played all of the normal theoretical moves. At this point, I was out of book, so I didn't know what the main continuation was. And after a little bit of thought, I was able to find a really interesting idea. This is called the Rubinstein maneuver, named after Akiba Rubinstein, one of the strongest players of the early 20th century, who really developed this maneuver. And this is a maneuver that involves bringing your queen to the a2 or h2 square, which can be done for a variety of reasons. In this case, what it does is builds a battery that intensifies the pressure on f7. And my opponent was, pretty surprised at this very unconventional move. It was a novelty. It's never been played before or since. And he did not react very well. He pushed my bishop away to g3. Then he went knight h5. I brought my queen up to a2, setting up an attack on f7. And here we come to the critical moment. Black plays queen f6. This is a good move. It attacks the knight. It defends f7. And I automatically dropped my knight back to f3. This was just an autopilot move. What I forgot is that the knight isn't actually hanging. Hopefully you've realized that. It's not hanging because if black takes it, we take on f7 and we win the rook on e8. And so white doesn't have to worry about the knight at all. Instead, white can concern himself with dislodging the queen from f6. And the opportunity that I missed here was the very strong move, rook e1 to e3. This is a classic rook lift, and it turns out that black has a very hard time stopping the move rook f3, which of course would come with great effect. The engine indicates that the only way to preserve a playable position is to move the knight into f4, but still, after knight d to e2, trying to dislodge the knight, white gets a very big initiative. So I was bummed about missing rook e3, but I ended up playing knight f3, and I still won the game. You can find this game online. I also had a chess.com article where I analyze it. I'll probably put it in the description. But that's outside the scope of what I'm talking about now. The crazy thing is that I had a game with Magnus in which he also played the Philidor. And this was the only time in the match, or I think one of several times in the match where Magnus played the Philidor. And for the first couple of games, I was responding with the conventional d4. But then I remembered that 13 years ago, I played a game where I decided on the secondary main line, which is bishop c4. So I decided to play it. And Magnus goes bishop e7. And at this point, I started feeling, butterflies in my stomach because we're following the exact course of my game with de Grave. And I was like, am I really going to get a chance to use the exact same idea? And maybe I'll even be able to win the game. How crazy would that be? So watch what happens. Rook e8, bishop g5. So this is a slight deviation from the de Grave game where actually, is it a deviation? Let me check where we deviated. So here I have a rook on e1. The bishop is on f8. And here, okay, so Magnus didn't play the move a5. He saved a tempo on that. Instead, he played h6. And here I dropped back to f4 rather than h4. But those are insignificant differences. Bishop f8, rook e1, knight bd7. The position is very similar, and you will never guess what move I made in this position. It is indeed queen b1. And it's not even like a move recommended by the engine. It was just so cool to be able to exploit the same idea. But the plot thickens. Watch what happens. Plays knight e5. I drop the bishop back. Knight g6, drop the other bishop back. Knight h5, queen a2. And I was like, wait a second. My opponent in that game did something almost identical. He played knight h5, and now Magnus goes queen f6. And 12 years later, I was finally able to use the analysis from the game against de Grave. Rather than autopiloting knight f3, I was able to execute the idea that I missed in that game. I played the move rook e3. Magnus grabs the bishop on g3, and now rook e3 to f3. I don't recapture the knight. Instead, I go right after the f7 pawn. Now, I felt really, really like a badass, and I was blitzing these moves out because these aren't normally moves that I would find instantly, but it just shows the benefits of analyzing every one of your games. You never know when you can extract and apply the lessons that you learn. Now, what spoils the party a little bit is that rook f3 actually isn't sound. Black has a crazy computer defense that gives him the advantage. Magnus was unable to find it in a blitz game. I'm sure he would be able to find it in a classical game. So in the game, Magnus already makes the decisive mistake. He covers with his other knight, and now I'm able to take on g3. And you can't take on d4 once again because if bishop takes f7. Magnus plays d5, trying to intercept this battery, but after rook f4, queen d4, he has walked into another discovery. E takes d5 is totally decisive. Queen d2, dc6. I'm already 2 pawns up. I'm winning a third pawn because black can't defend f7 and b7 at the same time, and I went on to win the game pretty smoothly. Now, for those who are really looking for a challenge, you can pause the video and try to see if you can figure out the defense for black. And I'm not just looking for one move. I'm looking primarily for the follow-up move. So the correct move is knight g3 to f5. And this is pretty logical on the surface, but it appears that after knight takes f5, there is just no way in hell to stop all of these threats. And knight h6, bishop f7, how do you prevent the pressure on the f-file from becoming decisive? Well, it turns out that the cold-blooded follow-up move is knight g6 to e5. When you're trying to deal with a discovered attack or a discovered check, normally what you want to try to do is attack the tail of the discovery, the piece that's actually doing the attacking. That is usually the best way to dismantle a discovered attack mechanism. And this is exactly what happens here. The rook is attacked, so if the knight doesn't move away with check, black simply takes the rook with check. If white plays knight takes h6 check and bishop takes f7 check, it looks very strong. But if you keep calculating after king h8, bishop e8, takes, white is up 2 pawns, yes, but the king is in shambles. And more importantly, bishop e6 picks up the bishop on e8. It's simply a double attack against that queen, which some genius positioned on a2. So instead, white can try the really cool move, bishop takes f7 check. This is such a sexy move, but even this move doesn't work. Now, what's the point of bishop f7? Well, if black recaptures with the knight, now white plays knight takes h6 check. The queen is attacked, so the queen has to take, and queen takes f7, picks up the rook on e8. White is winning. You also don't want to take on f7 with the queen, because knight takes h6 check also picks up the queen. Black gets a lot of pieces for it. The position is approximately balanced. So instead, black makes the ridiculously cold-blooded move, king h8, allowing white to take the rook. Black recaptures on f3, and after g takes f3, another cold-blooded move, bishop e6. Currently, white is up 2 pawns and a piece, but you're losing the piece back, and white is actually much worse here because the king on g1 is in shambles. It's in a terrible spot, and the knight on f5 is immobile because you're going to lose the pawn on f3 if you move it away. And if you don't move it away, black is going to take twice on f5 with a massive attack on white's king. So this was a little bit disappointing, but I wanted to point this out, and for the sake of completeness. Nonetheless, this was a really memorable moment where I was able to directly apply this idea that I didn't play all those years ago in my game against de Graaf. So my memories in the Philidor against the Philidor are very positive, and those were the highlights from my wins. Next, I have 2 highlights on both of our ends from opportunities that we missed. Both of us missed several opportunities throughout the games to produce really, really nice sequences. I'm going to show you 1 missed opportunity for Magnus and 1 missed opportunity for me, and then we'll move on to Magnus's victories, which I know is what everybody's looking forward to anyway. So the first missed opportunity is on Magnus's end. This was, I think, game 4 or game 5 of the match. I had the black pieces, and actually, let's flip the board because we'll be looking at this from Magnus's perspective. So at first sight, it may seem that white is easily winning because he's got the piggies on the 7th, but rooks on the 7th don't always lead to checkmate. And this is an example of that where white can check as long as he wants, but you can't checkmate the king. The king has 3 escape squares, and you can only cover 2 of them at the same time. So there's no way to checkmate directly. And the additional problem is that I have this little boy on d3 that is pulling white's attention in all sorts of places. So it appears that if white plays a nonchalant move, like, for example, rook takes h6, I will intercept the other rook with rook d5, and it appears that actually if anybody is winning, it's black. Actually, white can repeat moves here with rook g6 and rook h6, but if white takes on d5, then he is losing. Both of these pawns cover the d file, and white is not in time. Rook d6, d2, rook takes d5, and rook e1. Very important that this is a check. If white's king had been on h2, this would have been working. d1 queen, and black ends up a rook. So both of us had calculated this line. We were getting low on time, and ultimately Magnus decides to repeat moves. He goes rook g7, rook f7, and we made a drop. But the amazing thing, Hikaru pointed this out on his stream. He was covering the first half of the match on his stream, which I really, really appreciated. So Hikaru found this brilliant idea. Rook takes h6, rook d5 is correct. Now white makes a ridiculous looking move, rook back to h7. So this connects the rooks once again on the 7th rank, but doesn't black just play d2? And doesn't white now absolutely have to force a draw by checking on the 7th rank? Well, as it turns out, white is winning. Rook g7, check king f8. And now there is a ridiculous move that's almost impossible to spot in Blitz. Pause the video, see if you can find it. So the move that both of us missed is h6. I love tactics that involve allowing your opponent to promote with check. How crazy is it that after king h2, black doesn't have a single effective check? And it's precisely because the pawn on g2 and the pawn on g4 are doing such a good job of fully limiting the power of the queen and, of course, the rook. If the g4 pawn wasn't on the board, the queen would be able to swing back to h5. If the g2 pawn was missing, well, then obviously black would have a second ring check. As it stands, there's simply no way to stop rook h8 check white. Black just has to give away all his pieces and then get checkmated on h8. So I really thought this was a brilliant idea. And once again, something I'm positive Magnus would spot in a classical game, but with 30 seconds on the clock, one cannot expect anybody to find something like this. Now we get to my missed opportunity. This one really, really stung because I realized I had this right after I made the wrong move. So I played a Caro-Kann with black. I got a nice position, a knight on e4, and I could sense that I probably had some play against white's king. But the thing is, when you're playing Magnus, and I experienced this during the match, you're second guessing yourself all the time. Like every move that I see, like Magnus must have seen that, it must be wrong. And that really messes with your brain sometimes. I was trying to be as confident as possible. Most of the time I was trusting my instincts, but here I trusted him. And I made a nondescript move. I don't remember what I played. I think I played my queen to e7 or something like that. And I missed a relatively straightforward, crushing tactic. Once again, the drill. Pause the video, see if you can improve on my play. I'll finish off the coffee. All right, didn't have much remaining anyway. So the move is bishop d6 takes g3, Cabral just banging through the king side. And of course, after h takes g3, another follow-up sack, rook takes g3, really illustrates the power of the queen-knight tandem. White has to take, black takes back on g3, and it's actually just checkmate in 3 moves. King f1, black isn't even messing around. First you take the knight with check. If king e2, then check and mate on with a pawn. And if white goes the other way, then it's all very simple. Another check on g3, and either knight or queen f2 is mate, depending on where the king goes. And it's really as simple as that. Of course, technically the best move for white, according to the engine, is king to h1 here. But I'm pretty sure I would have been able to win the game after bishop takes h2. So this one hurt. And after I lost this game, I went on a bit of a tilt and lost a couple in a row. So these were 2 opportunities that both of us missed. And now we get to Magnus's highlights. Now, once again, Magnus won the match. He played better than me. But since I'm making a video for my end, I did select more of my highlights than Magnus's highlights. But that's not to suggest that Magnus didn't play an incredible match. He played tons of brilliant games, and a lot of his wins were very much in boa constrictor fashion. He got a better position out of the opening, and he didn't even give me a chance. But Magnus also had a couple of tactical highlights and plenty of moments to choose from. So I have selected 4 moments that really stuck with me as an example of what makes Magnus such a ridiculously amazing, universally amazing player. And we'll start with this position, and we will face this from Magnus's side. So I'm playing white. He's got the black pieces here. And I had made a mistake early on in the opening, but I managed to recover. I won a piece. And this is the moment where I thought I was out of the woods. My king on f1 is clearly unsafe, but if black just gives a check on f6, the king is able to run into the corner. King g2, rook f2, king h1, and black has no clear follow-up. Furthermore, white threatens a checkmate on c8 because the bishop is covering the Luft square on h7. Always an important thing to recognize. Magnus started thinking, and I could sense that I was probably going to win the game. Then he plays the move h5. Very cryptic. h5. What is he doing? Well, obviously, I realized that I shouldn't play queen f5 or queen f4 because that runs into the pin. But I didn't see a compelling reason not to take the pawn on h5. Well, Magnus did see a compelling reason, and I was made aware of this reason very shortly. Rook f6 check, king g2, queen f2 check. This is what I had missed. I was assuming that he was going to check on f2 with the rook. No, the queen gives the check. After king h1, rook h6 reveals the reason for playing h5. The queen is skewered to the h2 pawn, and all I can do is give up my queen. I tried the move rook f1, counterattacking black's queen, but the very elegant queen takes f1 ends the game. It's a classic desperado sack. And I resigned because after bishop f1, rook h5, black is up in exchange and a pawn. There is nothing left to play for. So the answer is no, I should not have taken the pawn. Instead, I should have dropped my queen back to e2, maintaining a very double-edged position. Okay, so next, a very pretty tactical sequence from late in the match. This was another one of the, maybe the 50th game or so. This was honestly just a brilliant game all around. You can find this in my game archive if you want to see the whole thing, but I'll just show you the very pretty ending. Magnus has the white pieces. He just went right after my king from right out of the gate. And here he demonstrates an incredible combination that caps the attack off. Now, the first thing you might see is the move queen h6 check. And this does keep a decisive advantage. White should be able to convert the attack, but there is a more effective and nicer way to win. There's checkmate in 6 moves. Let's see if you can spot it. So the key is to realize that whenever there's a queen on the F file and a rook on the H file like this, there's a common tactical motif that involves not queen H6, that involves deflecting the king by sacking the rook, opening up the F7 square for the queen and driving the king out into the open. King H8 gets mated with rook H1, so I had to play king H6. Still rook H1. The king is driven further out into the wilderness. The queen picks up the knight with check. King has to move into f4, and queen drops back to f6 with checkmate. This is a very nice mating sequence, and this was an all-around brilliant attacking game. Okay, so actually I want to save this one for last. I have 2 more Magnus highlights to show you. There were so many segments in the match where I just felt like I was playing somebody who was inhabiting another mental universe. Like by the time I, finished putting my clothes on the morning, he had discovered all the secrets of the position. And there were stretches of like 5-10 moves that were like all engine moves. It was honestly stunning, the accuracy with which Magnus handles complicated positions. And this is a great example of that. So he's got the white pieces here, and it's pretty clear that white is better, right? White's got a nice knight on g5. My king isn't very safe, but I was pinning my hopes on, these very nicely placed knights on c5 and d5. And in this position, Magnus initiates a ridiculously accurate sequence. He makes, 6 engine moves in a row and just destroys me. He starts with a natural move, c4. This chases the knight out of d5. And most importantly, if the knight drops back to c7, the rook drives into f6, super unpleasant move, preparing to double on the f-file. This is totally lost for black. So I decided to cover the f4 square with my knight. But now another super accurate move, bishop d4 to e3. This attacks the knight and forces it back toward the corner. The knight has no squares except h5. And now comes the cherry on top. The pawn runs into g4, harassing this poor knight yet again. If the knight would have dropped back to g7, white would have repurposed these pawns as battering rams. H5 decides the game because the attack on g6 is unbearable. A funny line is queen e8 and now h6, not the only winning move, but it simply traps the knight on g7. Isn't it crazy how he just tracks my knight all throughout the board? So knight g7 being not an option, I decided to take the plunge and play knight g3. This attacks the rook, so he trades. And in this position, one last super accurate move by Magnus. How do you actually attack this knight? Well, I was hoping that Magnus was going to do it with his queen. This would be a very serious mistake because I had intended h6, counterattacking white's knight, and the best that white can do is win a pawn. If the knight drops back, then I can now safely move my knight back to e4, or defend it with the other knight, knight c4. But rather than playing queen g2, he plays king g2. This is what I had missed. The queen is kept on c2 for a very specific reason, and that reason is revealed when I played h6. Otherwise, the knight is lost, and all of a sudden, queen comes in and captures the g7, the g6 pawn. That is why you had to keep the queen on c2. After queen g7, trade, and the final move of the game is bishop takes c5, eliminating the other knight. And after knight takes c6 check, I resigned. The irony of this game is that after knight takes f8, I have lost all of my pieces except the original knight that he was trying to trap. I think there's a certain elegance to that. I resigned after knight takes c6 check. So just a really impressive stretch for a 3-minute game. Remember, the time control is 3+0. And the final highlight is really just an incredibly sexy move that Magnus made in one of the games from the middle of the match. So he's got white in this position. He is up a pawn, but we were both in acute time pressure here, and I decided to spring a devilish trap. I played the move h6. Now, it appears that I am voluntarily parting ways with the bishop on c5, but obviously someone like Magnus is not going to miss any elementary tactics, even with 2 seconds on the clock. It was crazy how quickly he saw through all of my dirty tricks. Queen takes c5 runs into the classic rook d1 check, another deflection tactic. If you take, you lose the queen. And if you don't take, well, you actually can't move the king up to h2, but you can block with a knight. But here I take on c1, simultaneously defending the queen on c7. So, okay, well, we get why white can't take on c5, but how does white actually reinforce the threat of queen takes c5? It's not so easy to stop this idea of rook d1. And Magnus finds the best engine move, the only way to directly win this bishop. And it's an incredible move. I'll encourage you to pause the video one last time and see if you can figure it out. Oop, no more coffee. Okay, well, it's a retreating knight move. Those are the hardest moves to find. Knight f3 drops back to g1 preemptively in order to ensure that rook d1 does not come with check. Now, the bishop is attacked, and that's not the end of the story. I can defend the bishop with rook d5, and I was still hopeful here. But now he follows up with e4. The rook is attacked, and it's got 2 squares, e5 and g5, and the same move ensues after both of these moves. I played rook g5. The knight walks back to f3. This is what makes this sequence so elegant. Now the rook is out of squares on the 5th rank. I had to play rook takes g4, and queen takes e5, picks up the bishop, and wins the game. The same would have happened after rook e5, knight f3. Notice that after rook takes e4, queen takes e5, the knight is defending the e1 square. So rook e1 check no longer works. Knight G1 is such an incredible move, made all the more amazing by the fact that he had exactly 30 seconds, and it took him 3 seconds to find the move Knight G1 in this position. So those are but a few of Magnus's highlights, and that concludes this highlight presentation. I hope you've enjoyed this overview of the match. I was agonizing for a while over what exactly the video should look like, but I'm pretty happy with how it came out. I think I was able to hit on the most memorable points. Once again, I lost the match by 6 points. The final score was 24.5, 30.5, but I was really happy with the way that I played. There were some dirty flags, but overall I played my best chess. And it, of course, needless to say, is a great honor to face Magnus in such a long match. It's a match that I will remember for a long time, and I'm hoping for a rematch sometime soon. And on that note, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to pause the video here. Hope you enjoyed, and I hope to see you in another one of these highlight videos pretty soon. Thank you, and goodbye.